which superhero would you like to be for your future movie?
I always, like, the first words my son could say, and I made sure, apart from Daddy, was Batman. Because I love Batman, and because of course James Bond as well. But I don't see myself being James Bond. So it's a good question, because I'd like to be part of Batman in some way or another. I don't think I would be Batman. I don't think I'd be a good Batman look-wise and stuff. You never know. Plastic surgery might help. But be a villain or something. And then Snake Eyes is like, like if I could play Snake Eyes, Darth Maul, Toad, and what else, and maybe a couple of little things in between, I'd be happy for the rest of my life. Because they're the three characters I really like playing.
That's good. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hey Dan.
My question is kind of taking. I was going to originally ask, what were your techniques and how did you go about obtaining them? So you kind of answered that already. So what I'm going to do is kind of a little unorthodox. I'm going to let you a little know about myself. I've done hiking, kayaking, whitewater rafting, rock climbing, rappelling. I've done obstacle courses in the Marines. But one thing I would like to do is a backflip, and I was wondering if you could help me with that.
I could, but not today.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Parks.
Good afternoon.
My name is David Lopez, and I help run a local stunt team here in Miami. And first of all, I would like to say we all appreciate what you do for us and the community. We enjoy your movies. But my question is, who is your favorite stunt choreographer?
There's not that many out there actually. Yan Wu-ping, he's the master. He's responsible for a lot of Donnie Yen's and Jet Li's old movies and recent movies. Corey Yen, he was on X-Men with us. He's done a lot. But there's different styles. When I worked on the Bruce Lee TV show and worked with some really good masters and wushu people, there's just a difference of how they film the fight sequences compared to how we do it in the US and the techniques. And it's all about how they know how they're going to edit it and put it together. So there's a different style that I really want to learn more about. And a lot of the time it's like knowing where the cameras are going to be and what you're playing for the camera. Like recently I did something twice, the two things I was working on, and depending on the camera you've really got to like swing the punch in a different way, and it feels really weird. So it's not a martial art way of punching at all. It defies and breaks the rules of any martial art. It's actually complete opposite. But it helps to know martial arts, and that's where I think where some martial arts come on and are great, but they don't understand the movie fighting technique of it. It's easy if the camera angles are set up in a way that you can just move forward and be like whenever you spar, moving in lines or circles and going around. If the camera's set up for that and you can move in a natural way, then it's okay. But if it's done in a certain way where you're going in a line, but the camera's set to take a hit, it's not going to work. You've got to do, instead of doing a punch like that, you've got to do one of these punches, and it's just weird. It's a different type of training, and that's where people like Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung, they're really good at what they do, and they understand the technique of making a fight scene and making it work, and the reaction. And it's not just you, it's the people you work with as well who take the reactions. And my buddy got on. I wanted guys with different styles. So I had a capoeira guy, and I had a Jeet Kune Do guy, and Taekwondo, and a karate guy. Because people move differently, and so their reactions will be different. And I wanted that, and then it sells the hits for you, And it was supposed to be, security guards, normal people. Not martial art guys who are going to do wushu tricks out of it. You punch them, they do a 20 million twists and hit the ground. That's a different type of movie, So it all depends on who you're working with as well. That's a tricky question, because I know a lot of the guys, my friends in LA, they're martial art guys, and they're from different backgrounds, and they're really good at what they do. And a lot of the time, it's not up to them. They'll have great choreographed fights, but then it's all how the edit and the director wants it. So it's an understanding of the fights itself, because the fights should tell a story. It's a dance as well. You know, there's a certain tempo with any movie that it's a fight movie. If you watch any Hong Kong movies, it's a build-up, and of course at the end there's always the big fight. You know, or just before the end is a big fight, and then, you know, so you see where guys who do fight movies, they show a bit what they can do, and a bit more, really more, and then they're doing fantastic moves, and sometimes it's too much. You know, so we try. There's a saying, stunts for stunts, so you don't do too much. You know, and of course I'm the guy who wants to do a flash move in a fight scene just because I can do it, and sometimes you think, boy, I could do this in a real fight scene if I could get away with it, but then you think, then you're telling the audience, now we're going into make-believe land, you know, you want to keep it real. So it all depends on the type of movie.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry if I go around the houses in that question there.